Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Fishing in Tennessee. Today we're going to start a new series on crankbait fishing. We're going to do a couple parts, don't know how many yet, but I'll let y'all know. But the first part today that we're going to do is on your setup, on rod and reel and line setup, so we'll go ahead and get started. The rod I have here is a Bass Pro Shops cranking stick. It's got IM6 graphite, and it's got fiberglass in it, so it gives you the best of both worlds. The fiberglass is absorbent, and you also get the feel of graphite as well. Also, the thing with fiberglass is where it's so absorbent, graphite is stiffer and always wants to return immediately after you hit it. If you hit it like that, fiberglass, it takes a minute for it to get back in its shape, so that means it's more absorbent. So, when you're pulling into those fish, when you're setting that hook on the crankbait, what that fiberglass does, where it's softer, it lets that fish eat it more. It don't pull it, don't rip it out of its mouth, anything like that, because the graphite's stiffer, and it'll rip it out of its mouth. If you're fishing deep stuff, if mainly that's what you fish, and you're looking on the market to buy one, I would go with a 7-footer, maybe. If you don't do if you do about half and half, I'd either go with a 6, 6, or 7, whatever you're good at casting with. For me, I like my shorter rods because I can cast better, but I do not do a whole lot of deep fishing. But your deeper crankbaits, you want something from about a 7 foot and up, so you're not target fishing, so you're mainly just wanting to get a really long cast out of it, and that'll help you launch your bait farther. A 6, 6 or a 7-footer will help you with target casting, shallow cranking, things like that. I mainly shallow crank, so that's why I have a 6, 6. The reel I have is a Bass Pro Shops Bionic Plus. Really, if you're just going to buy one rod right now, or you're looking in the market for a reel, I would highly suggest getting a 5-3-1, because if you're not deep crankbait fishing any whatsoever, I would go with a 6. But if you're mixing it up, going half and half, I would get a 5. The only thing is, I have against a 5 square bill fishing. Some people do like it, but for me, I burn a lot of crankbaits, and it just wears you out through the day. Burning with a 5, with a 6, you could save a whole lot more energy. But if you're going to have that one rod and reel and you're mixing it up, or you do a whole lot of deep diving, that 5's got that torque for deepers, so I would suggest going with a 5. That's just my personal opinion, but let's go ahead and get started on the line. Line, when you're picking out line, you need to have fluorocarbon. That is the #1 key to crankbait fishing. Do not use braid. Do not use mono. That is the worst mistake you're going to make. The reason is because braid has absolutely no stretch. It's like graphite. If you had a graphite rod and braid, you would have a hard time setting the hook on fish because you'd be pulling it out of their mouth so much. With mono, it floats. Braid also floats. So you don't get the diving depth that you need. Fluorocarbon, it sinks. Go fluorocarbon, you'll get really good depth. Also, the bait will work a whole lot better. You'll catch a whole lot more fish. There's 4 different kinds. The last one that if you're fishing shallow, if you're fishing shallow and you're fishing a lot of junk and stuff like that, maybe rattle traps or something like that, or maybe you're fishing square bills around wood and stuff like that, is 14-pound test. That's the only time I would use it if you're fishing that kind of stuff. The reason is 14 will make your crankbait run really shallow, is the thing, or not as deep as you would want it to go. With 8, 10, and 12, 8 is where you can get your maximum diving depth. With 10, you can also get a maximum diving depth, or you can get about midways of that crankbait diving depth. With 12, you get about midways, that all the time. So I use 12 most of the time because I fish a lot around junk and stuff like that. So that's my main line that I use for my fluorocarbon. I use the Bass Pro Shops 100% fluorocarbon, the XPS series. The reason I use Bass Pro, I used to use the white box. For some of the haters out there, the reason I use Bass Pro is because I like them, not because KVD's name's on it. But I started using their older line before they come out with this new series and got rid of the older one. Really good line, really liked it, and then they come out with this. I used some of it last year. It was a really good line as well, so I went ahead and used it. But also, I want to add in something. I have a video on line care. I'll put the link above me. But also, for caring for any of your line, I would suggest buying some of the Kevin Van Dam line and lure stuff right here. Really good stuff. It'll help the life of your line a whole lot more. Usually, before a fishing trip, I will put some of that on the night before, let it soak in that night, and then after I get back that night, I'll put some more on it and let that soak throughout the week. And it really helps your line. I don't know what it is. I've heard a lot of good stuff about it, but I decided to pick some up, and it really works. It helps your line, improves the life of it. The only time I have to re-spool is when I'm running out of line on my spools from where I hang up and stuff like that, and things of that nature, get knots in my line or whatever to that sort. That's about the only time I re-spool. I re-spool about once a year unless something like that happens. But alright guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll have the next video up here before too long. We'll see y'all later.